What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be running through my round 16 AFL tips, and we're also going to be having a look at how I did back in round 15. So let's take a look and see at how I did. Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I got a total of 4 out of 6 tips last round, which isn't too bad considering how average I am at footy tips. And I'm on a total of 78 points now. So here we go. This is all the these are all the tips that I got incorrect and correct. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, I tipped the D's over the Cats. The Cats ended up winning. I tipped the Lions over the Saints. The Lions got up. I tipped the Swans over the Eagles, and obviously the Swans got up in pretty good fashion, as you can see. I tipped the Bombers over the Dockers. The Dockers got up in that one. I tipped my Pies over the Crows, and what a cracking game it was. And my Pies were able to get up in the end. And I tipped the Suns over the Hawks, and I got that tip correct as well. Let's take a look at my own tipping comp. As you can see, I am currently in 25th spot out of 36 participants, 37 participants actually. So yeah, I'm in 25th spot out of 37 participants, and I'm on a total of 78 points, as I said before. Having a look at the top of my tipping comp, it is still Kev's Magpies, who's on a total of 90 points and got a total of 3 out of 6 tips last round. So well done to Kev's Magpies, who's still on top of my tipping comp ladder. But without further ado, let's run through my round 16 AFL tips. Alright, kicking off round 16, we've got the Lions taking on the Tigers at the Gabba. The Lions are coming off that win against the Saints, while the Tigers are coming off the bye and also coming off a win against the Saints. So there you go, both teams are coming off wins against St Kilda. I'm going to be backing in the Lions in this game. I don't think it's going to be a very interesting and entertaining game to watch. I do think, you know, the Tigers are starting to find a little bit of good form at the moment. They've won their past 3 out of their past 5 matches. So yeah, they're coming into this game feeling pretty good, but you know, they're a team coming off the bye, and as the record stands, a team coming off the bye doesn't really do well in the next game that they have, and they're playing a team that's not coming off the bye as well. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Lions in this game. It's at the Gabba as well. The Lions tend to do really well at home. I do think, yeah, the Tigers are going to be very competitive in this game. I do think that, but yeah, I'm thinking the Lions will get home in this one. So yeah, I'm going to be backing the Lions to beat the Tigers in this game. All right, game number 2 of the week. We've got the weekend or the week, whatever. We've got the Swans taking on the Cats at the SCG. The Swans are coming off that very impressive win over the Eagles, where they scored 205 points, and the Cats are coming off that good win over the D's down at the Cattery. This is going to be a very entertaining game to watch as well. I think the Swans obviously are going to take a lot of confidence from that massive win that they recorded over the Eagles. But I do think the Cats are going to come into this game thinking that they can win as well after their win against the D's. And we all know the D's have been a very good side this year as well. So yeah, it's just going to be a very interesting, a very entertaining, a very tightly contested game. But I think the Swans are going to be able to win this game. So I'm tipping the Swans over the Cats in this one. I think they're going to get a bit of revenge over the Cats for the grand final and for the other game that they played this year at the Cattery. Yeah, I think the Swans, you know, after last week, I think they're just going to take a lot of confidence. A lot of their players, you know, would have built confidence in themselves as well. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Swans, just, you know, off the basis that a lot of their players are, you know, gonna, you know, have a lot of confidence from last round's win over the Eagles. And yeah, I think the Swans will be able to get it done at home in front of their home crowd over the Cats. Next up, we go over to the Adelaide Oval on Saturday for the first 1:45 game. This one being between Adelaide and North Melbourne. Yeah, I'm going to be tipping Adelaide in this game. The Crows are coming off that loss to my Pies by 2 points only, while the Roos are coming off that loss against the Dogs, and they're also coming off a bye as well. But yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Crows. It's at home in Adelaide, and we all know that the Crows love playing at home. They've been very impressive at home, even beating some decent sides at home as well. Yeah, I do think, North Melbourne, though, to give credit to North Melbourne, they've been very competitive. They've played some very decent footy the last few weeks. Yeah, they've been very competitive in their last few matches as well. So yeah, I do hope that they can be competitive in this game and have a good showing against Adelaide in Adelaide. But like I said just before, oh Jesus, I'm losing my voice here, lads. Like I said just before, Adelaide are very good at home. They are very impressive at home. So yeah, I do think the Crows will beat North Melbourne in this one. So I'm tipping the Crows over North Melbourne at home. Next up, we've got another 1:45 game. I don't know why we couldn't have a 2:10 game, but we've got two 1:45 games on the Saturday, and this second one is between the Dogs and the Dockers at Marvel Stadium. The Dogs are coming off the bye and a win against North Melbourne, while the Dockers are coming off that 32-point win against the Bombers. This is going to be a very enticing game to watch because both of these teams have been sort of up and down this season. The Dogs, before they beat North Melbourne, had 3 losses in a row, and the Dockers, before they beat the Bombers, had 2 losses in a row. This is going to be a very tough game to tip. I've seen the Dockers beat the Dogs at Marvel Stadium before. But I don't know. I just feel like I know the Dogs are coming off the bye, and I know that I said before that teams, coming off the bye don't have the best record this year. But I just have a feeling the Dogs are going to get up for this game and be able to beat the Dockers. They've already played this season as well back in round 6, and the Dogs beat the Dockers by 49 points in that game. So I reckon the Dogs are going to be able to do the double over the Dockers at home and, sort of overcome that curse of, teams not being able to win after the bye or after they've had their bye. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Dogs to beat the Dockers in this game. I do think it's going to be a very tightly contested, a very competitive game of footy. But yeah, I think the Dogs will get the job done over the Dockers in this one. Next up, we've got my Pies taking on the Suns at Heritage Bank Stadium up in the Gold Coast, and this game is on at 4:35 on the Saturday. The Suns are coming off that very good win against the Hawks, while my Pies are coming off that exhilarating 2-point win over the Crows. What a game and what a win that was. I do think this is a little bit of a danger game for us because, the Suns at home, they tend to play very well at home. And, they're coming off that very good win against the Hawks, which was at home as well. And, the Suns, they've won 3 of their past 5 games. And my Pies have won their past 4 of their past 5 games. So yeah, it's going to be a very, enticing and interesting game to watch. I'll be there live as well. I'll be at the Gold Coast or on the Gold Coast at Heritage Bank Stadium watching this game live, supporting my Pies, and I'll also be tipping my Pies to get the job done over the Suns. I just, feel like we're playing some very good footy at the moment, and it has us at the top of the AFL ladder currently. I do think the Suns are going to be very competitive in this game because it is at their home stadium. I do think my Pies will be good enough to get the job done in this game, in this very competitive game against the Suns. So I'm backing in my Pies to get the job done over the Suns. Come on, the Pies. And the last game on the Saturday is the Bombers taking on Port Adelaide at the MCG, not at Marvel Stadium, at the MCG this one. The Bombers coming off that 32-point loss against the Dockers. Well, the Power are coming off the bye and also a win over the Cats as well. We all know that good winning streak that the Power are on at the moment. I do think it's going to be, I do think it's going to be a bit of a weird and sort of interesting game because I can sort of see the Bombers getting up considering it's at the MCG as well, and the Bombers tend to like playing at the MCG. I think, the MCG suits the Bombers play style well. I'm still going to be tipping Port Adelaide in this game. They're on that very good winning streak at the moment, and I know they're another team coming off the bye, but I do think Port Adelaide are going to be a little bit too good for the Bombers. I do think the Bombers, they were a bit down last round. They had a bit of a confidence drop last round, the Bombers. I still think they're going to, be very competitive in this game. I really do think that they can push Port Adelaide, maybe all the way in this game. But I do think Port Adelaide, with the record, the winning record that they have at the moment, how many games they've won in a row at the moment, it's just incredible. I'm going to be backing in Port Adelaide to beat the Bombers in this one. Next up, we've got the first of the 3 Sunday games. The first game being between Hawthorn and Carlton at the MCG, 1:10 p.m. Carlton, they're coming off that win against the Suns, and they're also coming off the bye as well. The Hawks are coming off that pretty disappointing loss against the Suns last round. So, this game, it's going to be a very, I feel like it's going to be a very, very highly contested game of footy. It's going to be a very enticing game of footy to watch. The Hawks are currently in 16th spot, while the Blues are in 15th spot. I really want to tip the Hawks. I really have, a little feeling in my, gut that the Hawks can get the job done. But I think the Blues are going to, just be a little bit too strong for the Hawks in this game. I think the Blues midfield will just be able to, sort of overpower the Hawks midfield in this game. But I do think, the Hawks midfield have been very, competitive in the last few games. And, they've showed some good signs as well, that Hawthorn midfield group. And I also think the Hawks, the whole team themselves have shown some, very good signs in their past few games. I mean, they've won 3 of their past 5 games as well, the Hawks. So that's, they're playing some very good footy at the moment, the Hawks. They had a little bit of a bump in the road the last round against the Suns. I just feel like the Blues, they're going to bounce back. They had a very decent win over the Suns before the bye, and I think they're going to come out in this game and just be a little bit too strong for the Hawks. I do think it can go either way. I do think this game is going to be a very competitive and entertaining game to watch, but I think the Blues will just be a little bit too good for the Hawks in this game. So I'm backing in the Blues in this one. Next up, we have got the 3:20 Sunday game between Melbourne and GWS. This one has been played in Alice Springs at TIO Stadium. The D's are coming off that loss against the Cats, while the Giants are coming off the bye and that big win over the Dockers. Yeah, I'm going to be tipping the D's in this game to get the job done. The D's, their 4th spot on the ladder, while the Giants are 14th on the ladder. But yeah, I think the D's have just been playing a little bit of a better brand of footy than the Giants have this year. I mean, the Giants have been pretty decent in their last few games. They've won their last 3 of their last 5 games. But yeah, I think the D's are going to be too strong. They're going to be a little bit too good for the Giants. I do hope the Giants, can make good of this game and, make it a very, entertaining game to watch. But yeah, I do think the D's will just be too good for the Giants and get back on the winners list after that loss against the Cats. And the last game of the round is West Coast taking on St Kilda at Optus Stadium. I mean, the Eagles, we all know that they're coming off that big loss against the Swans. It was like 171 points in the end. The Saints, they are coming off a loss as well against the Lions. Oh, geez. I mean, where do you put it to as if you're an Eagles fan, what do you just say? Where's it going to come from for the Eagles? I mean, at the moment, I think I was watching like First Crack last round or whenever it was, like last week or last weekend, whenever it was. And it's just crazy to see how many of the older players are not really, giving it their all, and how the younger players, the more inexperienced players are just, doing a lot more than the more experienced players are. I mean, there is some experienced players in that team for the Eagles that are doing, the best that they can. The main one that I think of is bloody Oscar Allen and Tim Kelly. I mean, I know Oscar Allen isn't, the most experienced in that team, but he's looking at that team, you would have to say he is one of the more experienced players in that team. So yeah, I think Oscar Allen and Tim Kelly are ones that can hold their heads up high. There's obviously a few more, experienced players that, can also go on that list that can hold their heads up high. But for the majority, it's some of the younger players, just paving the way more than the more older and experienced players, which is weird to say. But yeah, I just don't know where it's going to come from for the Eagles, and I just don't think they're going to win this game either. I think the Saints, even though they've lost their last 2 games in a row, I think the Saints, will be too good for the Eagles in this game. Hopefully the Eagles can have a decent showing in this one because it is in front of their home crowd. It is at Optus Stadium. And, hopefully they don't lose by a massive margin. But, their past few margins have been a little bit worrying. I mean, before they lost to the Swans, they lost to the Crows by more than 100 points. So they've lost back-to-back games by 100 points, which is just crazy to think about. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Saints in this game over the Eagles. Like I said though, I hope the Eagles can have a more competitive showing and a better showing this game. It just gives something to that home crowd that's going to be there watching them on Sunday. But yeah, it's going to be the Saints for me. The Saints are playing the better footy this season than the Eagles. So yeah, I'm backing in the Saints to beat the Eagles in this one. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my tips done and dusted for round 16. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and leave your tips in the comments below. And yeah, cheers guys for watching, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Cheers.